the concept of harvesting the wind, aka, are you able to harvest the opportunity if it presents itself? In other words, let's say that we are sailing right now and we're on a ship and there's a massive wind that's about to come. And we are on this ship and we feel the wind, but we have no sail. So, how do we catch the wind? Well, frankly, in this scenario, we wouldn't be able to because we weren't prepared. The wind came and there's nothing we could do about it. We might get a little push and it will kind of carry the boat forward for a little bit. But that's as far as it gets. It doesn't get us any further than that. On the other hand, if we were prepared, we would have a sail ready. So if the wind came, we would raise the sail and we will catch the wind and let the wind do the work. And that's kind of like the luck meeting opportunity saying, where if I wasn't prepared right now and the opportunity came, I wouldn't be able to seize it, like the wind on the boat. Now, how does all of this lead into our lives? And essentially, it comes down to this. Okay, let's suppose that I say to myself, I want to be a movie star, right? I want to be a star, a celebrity, Hollywood movie actor. And suddenly one day, I walk down the street in the grocery store, and I get scouted by a person, and then he says, "Hey, you would be perfect for this role that we have. It's going to be like the main character for our movie, like let's say a Marvel movie." And then I think to myself, wow, what a great opportunity. And then what happens afterward is like, well, I don't have any practice in acting. I never acted before. I could just pretend like I know how to act and then just go with it and do it. Now the problem with this is that, yeah, people say fake it until you make it, and that's a thing. But also in this scenario where I would just pretend like I would act, what I know and what I don't know will show. Because if I say, let's say the wind came again, we go back to the metaphor of the boat and the wind. If the wind came and then the captain asked me, "Hey, the wind is about to blow, raise the sails." I can't, no matter how quick of let's say like I put up a plastic bag on the boat to catch the wind, it's going to catch some wind, but it's not going to be enough to do any just to the opportunity. So that is the scenario of, let's say, like I wanted to become an actor. Like I dream about it. I was like, okay, I want to become an actor. And I just wish that I want to be an actor. And I wish all the scenarios that I get discovered and I'll become this actor, but then I have no idea on how to get there. I just kind of wish that this will happen. And going back to the boat, this is kind of like if I was on the boat, I would say to myself, I'm going to catch the greatest wind and it's going to carry us to the greatest island to ever exist. And I will just sit there and just think, oh, one day I'll catch this wind. This beautiful wind will come and it will carry us all forth to this island where they have fruits, where they have all kinds of riches there. One day it will happen. And I'll sit there. And then when the wind does come, it flashes by. And so, how does one go about seizing these opportunities then? Becomes the question. Well, it's very simple. That is through action. Just very small action that will take you to that point. So, let's suppose again, I was on the boat and I didn't know how to seize this wind. I felt it once. I felt the wind and I tell myself, okay, next time the wind comes, I'm going to catch it. Until then, until the time the wind comes, I'm going to try to weave a piece of cloth to catch the wind. So I spend my time. I weave this fabric. I put together some sort of sail, even if it's like a shitty sail with holes in it. And then I just manage somehow to sew together like strings and things. It doesn't really look like a sail. It's just kind of like a sail, but it's not really there. It's like a tiny sail. And then one day the wind comes and it catches some of the wind. And it's like, oh, look, it's getting there. I gotta make it bigger next time. That way I can get this catch the full wind, not just partially. Because this time I could catch the wind and it pushed me forward quite a bit. But I want to be carried all the way to the islands of riches where they have all the fruits and all the resources available that we could all dream of. So, until then, I'm going to make a bigger sail. So, I go down and I work on my sail, make it bigger, sturdier, upgrade it, make sure there's no holes. And then I make it so good that it becomes like this beautifully sail, right? So large that it'll catch the entire wind. Now, when the wind comes, it catches the wind and it rides the wave and it moves it forward, not to the island, but it will move towards that direction. It rides the wind for a couple of days and then it's quite far away from the island. It's not there yet, but it's getting closer. So again, it says, okay, we caught the wind, but we weren't able to catch all of it. So now again, fine tune it. The small holes, we patch it up, make the sail lighter, make the sail bigger, make the sail greater. That way, when the wind does come, we can catch it all the way. And again, the wind comes, and you catch the wind, the great wind, all the way to the island of the riches and fruits of everything you ever dreamt of. So how does this look like in real life? Well, let's say again, I want to be the actor. And there was an opportunity. Let's say there was a job posting, opportunity posting about like an acting position. I applied. I failed because I didn't have the training I needed to successfully seize the opportunity. Well, until then, I will practice. Until then, I will practice my acting skills. I will practice reading lines. I will memorize it by just reading it once. And when I read one page, I can memorize all the lines. I'll practice so much that I can read 2 pages and memorize all the lines, no problem. So, the next opportunity comes. Another acting position opens up. I go audition, and I land the position. It's nothing big. It's just like a side character position in the movie. Just maybe like 10 seconds of screen time. But hey, I'm getting a little bit closer to the main character. So I do that side character, and people see how I act, and it's not A tier. So then again, I'll say, okay, until that day, until then, I'll go practice more. I brush up on my emotional reactions, emotional triggers, emotional acting, just fine tune my acting to the point where I can command my emotions on demand. So I go home, practice sadness, joy, anger, switch between all the emotions. And then one day, another opportunity comes and a job posting opens up and I apply for not the main character, but the second character. So I get the role, not the main character, but hey, it's a step closer. And again, one day I'll get better and better and better. And until that day where the main character position opens up, I'm gonna seize it. So, where does this all head towards? Seizing the opportunity, catching the win. It's all about preparation and to be wishful thinking that let's say right now in this specific state of mind and character, let's suppose that someone just came up to me and say, hey, you want to be the CEO of Google? Of course, yeah, sure. But I promise you, it's not going to look good. So it's like, you're going to give a person that knows how to ride a canoe with a battleship? No, let's be real. It all takes preparation, and the opportunities will come, but when it does, can you seize it? That is the question. And that goes with anything in life, with whatever you wish for, whatever you desire, whatever the desire is, when the opportunity comes, are you able to seize it? If the question is no, then it's not yet. Or not at all. That is up to you to decide, because right now, if the opportunity presented itself, I wouldn't be able to seize it. But until then, I'll practice. I'll refine my craft to be so good, to be so. It's almost like when you think about, like, okay, imagine a knife. I have right now with me a dull knife, a rusted knife that cannot cut shit. Like I can't even cut like a cucumber properly. Like it pretty much just smashes the cucumber. It doesn't cut. It's dull. And a man walks by and he says, hey, if you can cut me, I have this fish with me right now. It is the golden topperfish sword diamond peak fish from the whatever ocean. The most exotic animal that to ever exist. If you can cut me a sashimi out of this fish, I will give you the head chef position in my 6 Michelin star restaurant. Here I am standing with this fucking club. What am I gonna do? Sorry, can't do it. I can maybe make different things, but sashimi out of this club, forget it. What I have to do is to sharpen this club to become the knife that to do whatever I want it to do. So again, every day I sharpen it little by little. First day I might not know how to sharpen it. I just take a piece of rock and just kind of grind towards it. It gets a little bit smaller. That's progress. Next day I say, hey, okay, it's kind of like chipping away too much of the club. Let's use maybe something a little bit more like refined. So I put some sand on the rock, and now it becomes like a little bit like a sand grinder, and it grinds the club down, and then suddenly it like becomes more sharper. And I keep doing that, and then eventually sand isn't enough. I got to use fine sand to essentially sand the club down. And essentially that's not enough. I got to make it sharper. So I get a sharpening stone, and then sharper and sharper and sharper. And it becomes so sharp that next time, when another opportunity comes, a man comes and says, hey, I got this fish, this mythical fish that can fly, and it only flies once every 10 years. And I just so happen to be lucky enough to catch this fish, and it's worth a fortune. Can you cut me sashimi out of this fish? I say, sir, yes, sir. Give it to me. I'll cut you the finest sashimi pieces out of this fish. And there it is. The opportunity arises, and then you're ready to seize it. So the question is, are you ready to catch the wind when it comes? If not, what do you have to do to catch it? So that will be the end of this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.